I was looking at my journal entries from about a year ago, from around January of 2022. This was just around the time I had started to get my act together, and it was amazing to see. I scrolled back to journals from random days, and on one day I would have written, I messed up over here today. Let's make sure this doesn't happen tomorrow. On the next day's journal, I would have written, writing this as soon as I got done with it. I avoided making that mistake. I feel so proud of myself. And just the next line would be, writing this 2 hours after the line that I wrote above. I messed up over here now. The next day's journal would say, I avoided making the first mistake and the second mistake. I feel so proud, so happy, so fulfilled right now. The next line would be, okay, I fucked up here now. Kobe was notorious for watching game tape. From the age of 6, he had started to study the greats of the game. Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Hakeem, all of them. And this habit of studying the game tape continued on even when he started to play himself. Starting from high school, continuing on to even when he was playing in the NBA himself. He would watch and rewatch every minute of every single one of his games. He was also known to be one of those rare players who would come back after just the off season, having completely overcome what was their greatest weakness just the previous season. For example, he could have been known to have poor left hand ball control one season. Just after the off season, just after the couple of months of off season, he would come back with the strongest left hand ball control you would ever seen. He had studied the tapes. He had watched and rewatched every game of his. He knew everything he had done right and everything he had done wrong in every one of his games. Nobody knew Kobe's weaknesses as well as Kobe did. Wanting to do well and even meaning to with the best of intentions still isn't enough. If you've read any business book, you know that just handling things as they come, taking care of things as they happen, is a terrible strategy. If you've read any business book, you know that there's two things without which a business cannot function. Number one, planning, and number two, analyzing. There's a beautiful quote that goes, it's not the failures that define us so much as how we respond to them. Let's say you wake up tomorrow with the intention to get so much done, to spend hours productively, to finally get to that book that you've been meaning to read, to go to the gym, to journal, to meditate. But you end up doing nothing, not a single one of them. At the face of it, this day will look like an absolute failure, a waste of a day, a disgrace. But what I am trying to tell you is that this day can be a gold mine if you extract lessons from it, if you study the game tape. Life is no different from a game. The goal? To make the most of every day. To live every day as best as possible, to every day upgrade yourself in as many aspects of life as possible. But you only have 16 hours or so to do so until the time runs out, until you gotta go to sleep. Every day when you wake up, you get a new life, a new chance to win the game by making the most of the next 16 hours. The enemy is laziness, is lethargy, is inertia, is dullness. You are the one who tries to achieve the objective. and you are the one who keeps you from achieving it. What I am asking you to do is to stop winging it. Stop going into the game with no plan, no strategy. Stop making the same mistakes over and over and over again. What I am asking you to do is to wake up every morning with a game plan, with a strategy on how you're going to succeed. And then you go about your day. And then you go about the game of life. You are going to suck at it. I won't lie to you. You are going to make a complete fool of yourself. What do you expect? The first time you picked up a basketball, you didn't start shooting half-court shots right away, did you? You couldn't even dribble the ball without looking autistic. And the goal of that game is to throw a ball into a hoop. In the game of life, you don't succeed by being good at one thing. You gotta take care of your finances, your health, your mental well-being, your knowledge, as well as your personality, your social skills, your passions, your hobbies, and more. And you gotta do it all every single day. So start with a plan on how you're possibly going to work on everything that you want to within the span of 16 hours. And then go about your day. Try and fail at everything that you planned to do. And finally, study the game tape. Watch and re-watch every move you made through the course of the day, through the course of these 16 hours. Watch and learn what you did right, what you did wrong. Plan for how you might possibly have a better day tomorrow. You won't get it right away. It will take a few tries or 20, but you will get it right eventually. Not the entire game of it, but one part of it, one aspect of life. Now repeat for every other part of it. Now repeat for every part of your life that you want to work upon, every part of your life, everything that you want to be doing consistently. Let's get to exactly what you do. You begin the day by planning out what you're going to do for every hour of the day that you have. On the days when you go to school/work, outside of your commitments, you're going to have a very limited number of hours. And it's very important that every one of them is spent purposefully. And on the days you're home, those are the days you need to be on top of. I don't need to tell you how easily a Sunday can just fly by you, right? So what you do is you grab a pen and paper and write down every hour that you have in your day, and you write down what you plan to do with it. Not just, I'm going to do deep work from 8 to 10, but I'm going to finish a quarter of XYZ chapter between 8 and 10 a.m. You can do it on a Notion page if you want. Don't let the pen and paper be the excuse for why you don't do this. And then, at the end of the day, you analyze. You study the game tape. Beside where you wrote down what you planned to do for every hour of the day, write down what you actually did for every hour of the day. And use this to determine how you might potentially do better tomorrow. See the discrepancies between what you'd planned your day to look like and what it actually ended up looking like, and make the necessary changes to bring the reality as close to the expectations as possible. Maybe you study for 4 hours at a time, but because of doing this thing of seeing your expectations versus reality, you're able to notice that most of the times, about 2 hours in, you're already exhausted, you're done. And so the remaining 2 hours are always spent suboptimally. Additionally, you also notice that you're always on top of your game, you're always at your best mentally first thing in the morning. So what you do is instead of going to the gym first thing in the morning, you start your day with a 2 hour bout of deep work. By the end of which you get tired, you get exhausted, but no problem, because you're mentally exhausted. You now go to the gym. You have a good workout, you feel good about yourself. You come back, freshen up, and sit down for your second bout, for which you're just as fresh as you were for the first bout. Maybe you find that you always feel very tired right after lunch, and you're not able to get any work done. So you either start eating a lunch that is lower in carbs, or you go for a short walk after lunch, and after which you feel refreshed, after which you're able to work again. Maybe you've kept your meditation time in the afternoon, but you notice that because there's always so much going on in the afternoon, there's always that thought of, okay, how much have I gotten done since morning? Maybe I'm lagging a little, maybe I want to do a little more. What do I want to do after this? How am I going to spend my evening? What am I going to do right now? There's so much going on in the afternoons. So most of the times you end up skipping your meditation session. So what you start to do instead is you make no other change. All you do is you just pick up your meditation bout, your meditation, that block that you've taken out for meditation, and you move it to the first thing in the morning. And you see that you automatically you get consistent with your meditation about 80% of the times. Here's the thing. Every single one of these things is a realization I had and a change I made to my routine just because I gave myself these 10 minutes at the end of every day. Now you might find that the end of the day doesn't work for you because you're too tired by then. Fucking start doing it in the morning then, man. That is the point of it. If you're going to be successful, you need to take out 10 minutes to plan your day and 10 to study the tape. I try to look for the unfair advantages with everything that I do, and this is one of them. You take out these 20 minutes from your day, and you will derive so much more from the 16 hours you're awake. Life is a game. The most fun game you've ever played, but also the most difficult game ever created. It takes a lifetime to get good at it. What I am asking you to do is to play it with sincerity. Go into the game with a plan. Give it your best on the field. And finally, study the game tape. That is how you win at the game of life. Make your dreams a reality, one day at a time, boys. I will see you in the next one.